Happy Sunday, sisters and brothers. We are back here at Souls to the Poles on the Black Church bus. This morning, we are down in Stockbridge, just outside of the ATL, and we got some folk joining us who going to let us know what's happening down there. First of all, we've got gospel artist and social justice advocate Ted Wynn in the house. Brother, what's happening, man?
Hey, man, I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm good. What's it looking like down there in Stockbridge?
It's looking good down here. We are this particular area, Henry County down here, went blue this time for the first time in a while, and I think that that's engaged and excited a lot of people to understand what the potential is in this particular space if people show up. And I think people are understanding the importance of this election, and we see people showing up. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, that's great, man. So are you performing today?
That's gonna be a no. It's too cold outside.
Oh, right. That's right. Because when you were singing, you can't be out there singing in the freezing cold, can you? That's not a good thing.
Oh man, you gotta, you know what I'm saying? You can't be doing that.
Yeah. What are some of the other social justice projects you've been working on, brother?
Well, actually, in a literal context, I'm working on a social justice album right now, which speaks to a lot of things that, coming from a history of gospel music, that we haven't really talked about. I have a song called "I Pledge," which speaks to misogyny, sexism, patriarchy, and how we need to really work to intentionally deconstruct that. I have a song called "What Kind of White Man Are You?" which really is, I know, which really,
that's a gospel song?
Huh? No.
Okay.
It's really a song that I think speaks to the kind of systemic and structural racism that we've been contending with and not been willing to call it out, because I think that people fail to understand something. It is not enough not to be racist, right? You must be anti-racist. So you must work against those systems that intentionally marginalize Black and brown people in this country. And I think that if you say you love God and you're a representative of Jesus, these are things that we should see that should be consistent with your character, your theology, and your platform.
Wow. So when is that coming out, brother?
2021, March.
What kind of white man are you?
I want to know.
I think I like that. You're not playing in.
No.
Yeah, well, that's great, brother. Congratulations. So you say first of all, where are you from? Are you from the area?
I'm originally from Memphis, but I live in Atlanta. So I moved here for school in the late 90s. Lived in DC, is where my career started. I also started singing with Richard Smallwood and Vision when I lived there. Still do that, and then I moved back to Atlanta a few years after that, and just been here trying to work and encourage people and inspire people. And one of the things that people, kind of got some pushback in some ways when I first started using my platform to speak to these issues, because it's not usually something that you hear gospel artists talk about. But I'm Black like everybody else. It doesn't matter whether I sing gospel or not. The ways in which our lives are impacted are the same. And I think that if we, again, say that we are followers of Christ, if we're Christians and we care about people and we are our brother's keeper, then we have to do our part to make sure that justice is done. Because that's what I think God wants to see from us.
Yeah. So let me try to understand you correctly. When the song, "What Kind of White Man Are You?" you say that is or isn't a gospel song?
It's not really. It's really a song that just speaks to, well, first of all, the fact that no people group is monolithic, right? That there are different kinds of folk out there. And so it really raises a question, not for us, for them, right? Where do you see yourself? And I'll give you a little bit of it. Like the first verse is, are you the kind that read the Bible to his slaves? Or are you the kind who fought for justice to the grave?
Wow.
Are you the kind who speaks up against police violence? Or are you the kind who's complicit in your silence? What kind of white man are you?
Wow. That's amazing, brother. So the album is going to have different types of songs, not just gospel songs on it, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Brother, we look forward to that, man. So as you are moving around with the community on the Black Church PAC bus and whatnot, give us an idea of how the community is responding. Are you seeing people enthusiastic about this runoff? And even when you're not on the bus, just as you're moving around day to day, Is this like the talk of the areas and the people that you engage with? Is everybody talking about this runoff?
Yeah, I am. I'm seeing people excited about it, people engaged, and I think that it's been it's really encouraging because we know that special elections. I mean, we have trouble sometimes getting people to vote in general elections. So when you're talking about a special election, runoff, those are usually much more challenging. And the fact that we've already seen over 1 million people vote in Georgia early already is astronomical. We've already broken records, so I do think that people are engaged. I think Pastor Warnock's team and campaign have done a really great job of putting, information out there and inundating the public with ads. I've seen billboards, I've seen posters, and I think that the fact that Black church people in this state are engaged and understand the importance is really key. And I don't know that political institutions have really appreciated how instrumental the Black church can be in mobilizing people, not really since the days of King.
Well, they're gonna learn today, aren't they? They're gonna learn during this runoff. Huh?
That's right, Reverend Mark. They're gonna learn today.
No, this is real. I mean, and this is the beauty of it. To flip Georgia blue. Now all we got to do is keep it flipped. And the numbers look good. And again, folks, we don't say this because sometimes we get overconfident. Yeah. Well, Brother Ted and Brother Mark said we got it, so we ain't got to go vote. No, that ain't what we're saying. It looks good, but we got to bring it all the way home because as we reported yesterday, that there's some early voting shenanigans taking place in some of these counties, Muskogee and Clark and Cobb, just to name a few, where they want to throw out some early votes. So we cannot take this for granted. So let everyone know, that they need to get out and vote and be a part of this. So, we look forward to that. And brother, we so appreciate. I can't wait for this album.
Thank you, sir.
I love it. I love that title of one of those songs. He's gonna have a song on the album, y'all, called "What Kind of White Man Are You?" All right.
You can preach that.
Yeah, I'm gonna share it with some folks. I'm in some folks. All y'all listen, all the white men listening right now. What kind of white man are you? You don't have an answer for that before this song.
But I think, to your point, I appreciate this opportunity to share with you. I appreciate Pastor Mike and everybody involved in Black Church Rocks and for giving me an opportunity to partner with them because I think it's very important. And one of the things I was talking to somebody about recently that why I think this is so important is because Black Lives Matter is, to my recollection, one of the first social justice movements to not come out of the church and not to partner with church. And and I'm not mad at it. But I think it should be a wake-up call to those of us who are people of faith, right? Yeah. That we should be just as invested in justice as folks who don't identify as Christian, maybe. So we have to make sure that we step up and stay the course and do our part.
Yeah. Before we go though, you mentioned you from Memphis?
All day, every day.
Where'd you go to high school?
I went to Overton High School, Performing Arts High School.
Okay. So my part of my family's from Memphis, my paternal family. Okay. And then one of my grandmother's aunts was from Memphis, and her husband, my uncle, was principal of Hamilton for over 25 years.
Wow.
Oliver Johnson. So I got some folk in Memphis. I know something about Memphis. I grew up in Nashville, actually. So we good, brother. You from Memphis, I'm from Nashville. We good, brother. Me and you.
So now I'm gonna ask you a question right quick, Brother Mark. Does that mean now can you barbecue?
Can I barbecue?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can. I'm usually better eating other folks' barbecue, but
just checking, Reverend.
Yeah. How about you? You barbecue up a storm?
Absolutely not. Yeah. You don't want me barbecuing. I just know good barbecue because I'm from Memphis.
Yes, that's right. Well, brother, God bless you and your family. Happy holidays, and hope everybody's safe and healthy in Memphis and where your folk are. So we appreciate you, brother, and we thank you for stopping by to share a few words and provide some inspiration. And just lastly, I'm sure you'd agree, those watching this, we're not just doing this for entertainment. If and everybody Black knows somebody in Georgia, all right, everybody. So holler at your loved ones in Georgia today and say, don't call and just talk to them about, the weather and everything and what you're going to get for Christmas. Ask them to give everybody a Christmas present, the whole world, by going out to vote. Because if we can flip this Senate and get it out of no good Mitch McConnell's hands. Speaking of your song, brother, what kind of white man is he? If we can flip this Senate and get it out of his hands, that will be a Christmas present to the whole world. Okay.
People, do you want a stimulus check? Do you need a stimulus?
Yeah, that's right. Stimulus check, yeah. And not no Ted, and not no $600. What is anybody supposed to do with $600, Ted?
Months, 8 months later.
Right. Wait a minute. And I'm gonna be honest with you. And 8 months later, you can't do nothing with $1,200. You got to catch up on the bills you missed for the past few months. That's gone as soon as you. And the garnishment man just waiting on that. As soon as it's gonna go in the account, the garnishment man gonna take it right out. So what is that? And other countries around the world are taking care of people. Countries that ain't even necessarily socialist are looking out for their citizens. Why can't we do that here in this country? So, folks, that we want Georgia to give us all a Christmas present. Yes, and Georgia, we'll love you for that. Brother Ted, thank you, man. Okay.
Thank you, Reverend Mark. Appreciate you, man.
All right. God bless you, brother. All right. Brother Ted went down on the Black Church PAC bus down in Georgia. And we're going to get some other folk on to share what they're seeing, what they're experiencing, spread the word, have people turn on this live, if you would, share it, tweet it, retweet it, repost it on Instagram, whatever the things are that you have the ability to do. Because what's important now is that we do all we can to get this vote out. If we're going to ever recover, especially economically, the man who's running the Senate right now, the Senate Majority Leader, has failed the people in this country. People have lost their jobs, and if you haven't lost your job yet, then you probably can't go to work. Okay, and then that may affect your money and your income, as a matter of fact. So we want people to do all that is necessary to let folk in Georgia know what they must do in order to get this vote out. And we're going to be watching very, very closely some of these states, some of these counties, I should say, in Georgia, so that we can know
Billy Michael Honors
exactly what's taking place, and make sure there's no funny business. Joining us back on the bus is Pastor Barrett Berry.
Hello.
What's going on, Doctor? Man, what's happening on the bus today? Tell me what y'all doing today at Souls to the Polls.
Man, we're doing a couple of things at the same time, simultaneously. So we had to step off for a second. We're back again. We're out here. We have food for 400 people out here in Stockbridge. We're really rallying the people up. It's like a pop-up rally, which is amazing. You have all the major elected officials here in the community that are here, from the county council to city council, are here present with us today. It's a plethora of leadership. Who knew that Henry County and Stockbridge, the city of Stockbridge, which is right outside of Atlanta, was so Wakanda? We are here with Black folk running this community, and it's exciting to see. And they're really working to get the vote out. The polls opened at 1 o'clock here. From 1 to 5, we're right across from the polls. So if you come on down to Stockbridge today, we'll feed you some tasty, delicious food, and we'll celebrate getting out the vote on this Sunday afternoon.
So and how's the turnout? First of all, are you near an early voting site where you are now?
Right across. We're in the same park as the early voting site. We're legally far enough away to talk about who we support. And so it's a great time. They're outside right now doing like a press conference right now and rally right now as we speak. Matter of fact, the next person that's going to join you, I pulled him right off the mic. He's still hot from the mic. I mean, he was on the mic bringing the thunder this morning. And so, that's what we're doing here today. And of course, we're leaving here and we're going over to the Dream Center with Bishop William there, and we're going to do giveaways of toys and food there. And there, the church is going to give away 2 brand new cars at the Dream Center today. And I say get there early, get in line, but that starts at 4 o'clock. But I would get there earlier than that.
All right, all right. So who you got for us now? Is it Pastor?
It is Pastor Billy, man, and we're excited to have him here. Pastor Billy Michael Honor. He's a social activist right now, man, and this man had fire going today. So I'm gonna get out the way and let him bring the thunder. And after him, we'll bring up somebody else.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful.
All
thank you, brother, Pastor Osahar Barry. He's organizing that Black Church PAC bus down there, and we have with us now Pastor Billy Michael Honor. Pastor Honor, what's going on, Doctor? How you feel this morning?
Hey, I feel all right. I'm fired up and ready to go. How you feeling?
I heard you out there tearing it up. I'm good.
Good stuff. Listen, it's go time. It's go time. We're trying to fire the people up, get them ready to go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So tell us what about your church. Is your church there in Stockbridge?
No, so I pastored a church in downtown Atlanta for about 5 years, right in the middle of it all. And now I'm a full-time organizer, organizing people of faith around the state to get involved in this work. Yeah.
So how's that going? What's the level of excitement and enthusiasm as you're organizing people in and around this runoff?
Well, we have never, ever seen this type of excitement around a runoff. That's for sure. The numbers have been historic already. If nobody else votes, we've already exceeded the type of early voting participation that we've had in runoffs in the past. And so that lets you know that this election means a lot to the people of Georgia. And there's a lot of excitement. But listen, we need some more. We need some more. African Americans are turning out. But as you know, that's not the only people who live in this state. And so we're going around telling everybody that everybody has something at stake. So get your souls to the polls.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And are you finding this time around the Black church is more involved as it should be in and around this runoff?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for those of us who do electoral organizing, I do it here and all over the country, and I know how hard it is to get people and people of faith and Black congregations involved in these runoff elections, right? We're pretty good, to show up for these generals. We pull out all the stops, but runoffs, we tend to think our work is done sometimes. And so that's changed. I think the spirit of that has definitely changed. I mean, we see that with what's happening here today in Henry County with the ministers and the congregants who've shown up. And we see it every day. I'm getting a text from a minister or someone who is sending me a rally that's taking place that they're involved in. And so the energy is definitely there. We obviously want to see much more because you're never satisfied if you're an organizer.
and Pastor, it probably also helps in terms of organizing the church that one of the candidates is a minister himself, and if that generates this kind of enthusiasm, do we need to have more preachers running for office? I'm wondering what you think, man.
I wish, but all of them aren't quite in the tradition of Raphael Warnock, so that makes me a little nervous. It depends on which ones you're talking about. Right. Right. I mean, no, but I think so. I think you're definitely right. Let's be clear. As I just told the people outside, there are a lot of lies being put out in the media around Reverend Raphael Warnock, but he's my friend and my brother. We've worked together on a number of issues over the last 12 years. I'm not telling you what I heard. I'm telling you what I know, that part of the reason that people are showing up in this way is because he's been involved in public service in this state, fighting for issues long before he was ever a candidate. I could go down the list of issues that we've been involved in together. It goes back as far as criminal legal reform over a decade ago, education issues around theological education and education in general, expansion of healthcare. The man went to jail at the Capitol protesting for the expansion of healthcare, as well as, of course, voting rights issues. And so he's got a long record. And so I think that's what helps that people know that about him. But I do think that also being rooted in the Black church tradition, being trained by the Reverend Dr. James Cone, and having that Black liberation theology background speaks to people who normally would not be excited about these types of elections because I think they have something at stake.
Yes, sir. So you mentioned healthcare, you mentioned voter suppression, voting rights. as you talk to people, voters and congregants in Georgia,
right?
Are those two of the main issues on voters' minds? And are there other issues, for that matter, that are on voters' minds specifically in Georgia that you can share with us?
Sure. The pandemic is far and away what's on most people's minds, and all of the tentacles of issues that it affects, and whether it has to do with hospitals and having adequate access to health care, or the closing of hospitals in certain parts of the state, in what we call the black counties, the rural black belt, which is just below the mid part of the state. There are lots of black people that live in these rural communities, and hospitals have been closed up there. And 2 years ago, when Stacey Abrams, who started the organization I worked for the last few years, when she ran for governor, they tried to close voting precincts down in that area. And we went down there and we protested and advocated, and they had to keep them open. And so there's a constant barrage of trying to take public service opportunities away from that area. So that's definitely a concern for a lot of people in the state. Voter suppression is always there. Voting rights is always an issue that's core that we have to worry about. All of those are things that people are concerned about. But let me say quick, let me tell you what people are not concerned about. And I was on the Christian Broadcast Network. I don't know how that happened, that Pat Robertson let me come on there. But as I said,
they didn't know who you were, did they? They must have been a typo.
It was too late though. Because I said to them, listen, here's the deal. They want to convince people in the state that the issues that we should be concerned about is the sovereignty of Israel, abortion, and same-sex marriage. Those issues are on a conversation at stake here in this state. I ain't heard nobody all year talking about the sovereignty of Israel. That's black, white, red, polka dot. Nobody talking about that, right? Abortion is an issue for the courts. We all know that's an issue for the courts, right? That U.S. senators don't resolve those issues, right? And same-sex marriage, the same. Like these are red herrings that we're trying to make Christian people be concerned about, but nobody's talking about those. The issues that people are talking about are the ones that I already mentioned. Yeah.
And that's important because the Christian community isn't dying from COVID because of Palestine seeking its independence. It isn't dying from COVID because of abortions, and it isn't dying of COVID because of same-sex marriage.
No.
All right. So it's almost an insult to the intelligence of the voters.
Absolutely.
We're just gonna make you forget, and that works for some of them. Some of them are able to trick some of their people to get it. Like when you can convince people not to wear a mask, and you might still die, but they do it anyway.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest with you, Pastor T. To me, that's on that Jim Jones level.
Yeah,
that's on a cult of death. But I'm gonna tell you, at least Jim Jones had a Bible and some Kool-Aid. These folks are just dying for Donald Trump for no reason. He ain't offering them, ain't even trying to trick them. Into nothing. You know what I'm saying? So really, and I think that's an important message we need to keep saying to people. You don't ever want anybody to insult your intelligence and say to your face, you are ignorant. You are so ignorant, I can make up a whole nother subject to make you not vote or do something else. And that's ridiculous.
No, it is. And I'm glad you're calling it what it is. And that is, it's insulting the intelligence of people of faith that they will not know the difference between something that is someone else's issue and their issue. And when I say someone else's, I mean these high-level, right-wing, fundamentalist Christian activists.
Right.
That's their agenda. That is not the agenda of everyday people in the state of Georgia. But they are insulting our intelligence to think that we won't know the difference. Because Ralph Reed literally said, he said, listen, I don't know how you are a Christian and vote for the Democratic candidates because they literally are not for the issues that Christians stand for. To which I lost my mind and said, well, first of all, we just had an election and, really 1.5 million people, showed out and voted in this election in this state for the Democratic candidate in Biden. And a lot of those people call themselves Christians. So what are you really saying?
Yeah.
Right? What are you really saying? And so these litmus tests are the problem. We just got to stick to the issues.
Yes, sir, brother. Well, you're right. And listen, brother, we appreciate you and what all that you're doing and all that you're bringing to the table. and really mobilizing people in the way you are. We need people to do just that, especially in this season of Christmas. So, Pastor Honor, we so appreciate you, and it's a pleasure to meet you, my brother.
Likewise, thank you for all you're doing.
Thank you, brother. We appreciate you. Take care now.
Yeah.
All right, folks, we're at Souls to the Polls down in Georgia. Pastor Billiana is there, and we're going to get some other folk on to share what they're seeing and what they're witnessing in terms of getting out the vote. This is Souls to the Polls. Amen. Now, let me just say this. They are in Clark Community Park, which is in Stockbridge, Georgia. Clark Community Park, which is in Stockbridge, Georgia. And we're joined now by an elected official, Henry County Commission Chair, Carlotta Harrell. Did I have that right, Commissioner Harrell? How are you? Is it Harrell or Harrell?
It's Harrell.
Harrell. How are you, Commissioner Harrell?
I'm wonderful.
Good to have you. So is Stockbridge in Henry County?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So how's it looking out there? Is there a lot of enthusiasm and people getting out to vote in Stockbridge?
Absolutely. And so, Henry County encompasses 4 cities. We have Stockbridge, McDonough, Locust Grove, and Hampton. And so voter turnout has been really good, especially here in the Stockbridge area where we are today.
Okay.
And, yesterday we had Party to the Polls for Saturday voting, and today we're doing Souls to the Polls for Sunday voting.
Outstanding. Now, in some of these other counties, we're hearing that some of our early votes are being challenged. You all aren't having that problem in Henry County, are you?
No, we have not had that issue, but we do have people that are monitored to make sure.
To make sure. So tell us a little bit about the demographics of Henry County. Is it more minority in the majority? Is it more African American than white? Give us a little bit of the demographics, if you would.
Yeah. So Henry County has changed phenomenally since 2016. In 2016, that's when we started to see the shift here in Henry County, going from a majority county trending toward a minority county. So in 2016, I actually ran for the same seat that I was elected for this go round, and I lost by 91 votes in 2016. Hillary Clinton won Henry County in 2016. But I think a lot of the issue that we had was down ballot voting. And then in 2018, when Stacey Abrams ran for governor, we saw it to trend even more toward Democrat, and she won Henry County by 57% of the vote. So this go round in 2020, during this election cycle, it was a major shift. And we elected the first Black sheriff in the 200 history of Henry County, the first Black sheriff, the first Black clerk of Superior Court, and I am the first Democrat elected to the chair seat in the 200-year history of Henry County.
Wow.
And so we won the county by 60% of the vote. And so I went from 2016 losing by 91 to 2020 winning by 21,000 votes.
Wow. That's incredible. Congratulations on that. I'm looking at some of the numbers. There have been 24,029 early in-person votes in Henry County so far. And 8,998 mail votes. And that's not to include a total of 24,393 mail ballots have been requested in Henry County. So those folk haven't had a chance to return theirs yet. So that's another almost 16,000 people. So this is great. So in the general in 2020, Henry County was blue too, you said, correct?
Correct. We switched to blue and took a House seat as well as the county seats.
All right. Well, that's outstanding. How confident are you feeling about this runoff election overall for the state?
I'm feeling very confident because I just think that we're going to really show up and show out through this election season. This U.S. Senate race is, our life, our country depends on us winning these 2 U.S. Senate seats. You have everything that's on the ballot, from health care to everything else. And so I am excited. We're doing everything that we can to continue to push people to the polls. We're calling, we're knocking, we're doing rallies, we're doing everything that we can to help, Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff to win these 2 U.S. Senate seats.
Yeah, no, that's very important, and you're right. All eyes on Georgia, because the whole nation will be served if this happens. So, congratulations on you chairing the commission. What's next for you? You have any higher political aspirations? I see that Stacey Abrams and Raphael Warnock are paving the way for Black governor, Black senator. So you gonna run for governor of Georgia one day? Is that what you're saying?
No, right now, I just so my aspirations are to do great things here in Henry County, and to help other Black women get elected and move along and up the ladder. Is what my goal is to continue to for that effort. Yes.
Do the voters in Henry County, the voters you serve, are they in need of stimulus checks right now?
Oh, absolutely. We are seeing I tell you, it breaks my heart. And I actually have been talking with the pastors here in Henry County, and we are going to meet after the Christmas holidays, because we have some stimulus money, some CARES Act monies that was left over for nonprofits, and to also be able to provide mortgage and rental assistance, as well as hotel vouchers. And we've had families that, due to the pandemic, have a lot of them are in the service industry jobs, and have lost their jobs and have been put out of the extended stay hotels that they are staying in. And we've got families that are actually living in wooded areas here in Henry County, in Stockbridge. And so we got to do better. We have to do better. We have to make sure that we take care of that population. That you have some people live paycheck to paycheck, and you miss one paycheck, and that could set you outdoors. And so we have to do better. And so by electing these 2 U.S. Senate, us winning these 2 U.S. Senate seats here in Georgia with Warnock and Ossoff, I just think that will pave the way economically across the board for our poor and middle class communities.
And it need to be more than $600, don't it? What's somebody supposed to do with $600?
You can't even pay rent or mortgage with $600, and so we have to. If we can bail out big corporations, then we ought to be able to take care of our most valuable possession, and that's our people. Yeah.
Well, Commissioner Harrell, it is so nice to meet you. Thank you for your service and for all that you're doing. Congratulations on your election and you ascending to the chair position. And I know you'll continue to beat that drum and get to where Henry County's doing pretty good. But as I've been saying, I'm sure you'd agree, folks, this is good news if folks are turning out. But, sometimes we hear that and we think, oh, well, I don't need to go vote because it's going so well. That is not true. We need you to still get out and vote, correct?
That's correct. We need every vote matters. Every vote counts. And so I would hate for us to wake up on January the 6th and have lost this race because 2 people didn't go and vote.
Yeah. No, you're right about that. Commissioner, we thank you, folks. This is Commissioner Chair the Henry County Commission Chair, Carlotta Harrell, here with us, and such an honor to meet you. Is that your home, Henry County, your home?
No, actually, I was born and raised in Atlanta. I'm a Grady baby and was raised in Southwest Atlanta.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Well, I know the folk in Henry County are pleased and happy to have you, and they're very fortunate to have you serving them. We thank you for joining us today, okay?
Thank you.
All right. God bless you now. Take care. All right. We are on the Black Church PAC bus, y'all, and we're going to be hearing from others on the bus. They are in the Clark Community Park, not too far from Atlanta. And this is Souls to the Polls Sunday, where people are voting. They're being mobilized to vote, getting out the early vote. And we're glad that's happening. And the Black Church PAC bus, the Black Church Rocks bus, is doing it, organizing people and leading them to the polls. As I said, we're going to be looking even more closely this week as to whether or not there's a lot of or how much funny business there is with regards to some of these early voting situations where they're trying to contest these votes, because so many thousands of our people are turning out, and we want to be sure that their votes are not impaired and that nothing is happening to stop that. Joining us now, we're right there in the backyard of Tabernacle of Praise Church International, and here is Tabernacle of Praise Church International's Pastor Michael McBride's brother, Pastor TJ McBride.
Yes,
all right,
sir.
Doctor, how you doing?
I am good. Mark, how you doing, Doc?
I'm good, man. It's good to see you and glad to have you with us. And thanks for letting us come into your space. How's it looking out there today?
Well, it's looking good. We were able to get a bulk of our political figures, community leaders to come out today. We got just about all of our commissioners out here for Henry County. And so we just elected a commissioner, first Black woman commissioner right here in Henry County. And you all just got a chance to meet her, Carlotta Harrell. And then we were able to have Commissioner Holmes, Commissioner Clemens, Commissioner Thomas. They were all out here. And so we had the leadership here. And then we have the council people here of the different cities. Henry County is formed of different cities, 4 different cities: Hampton, McDonough, Stockbridge, and Locust Grove. And so we were able to get all of them to come out here. We got a lot of people voting out here. It's early voting happening right here in Henry County. And so we got a lot of people out here to vote. And so we're excited, man. We're right down here at Merle Manders Conference Center. So if you're all in this area, Henry County area, come on out. Early voting from 1 to 5 today. We're so glad to be out here. Not only is Black Church PAC out here, but also Black Voters Matters. Black Vote Matters is out here as well. And so they just rolled up. And so we're all out in the parking lot. It looks like a big old barbecue reunion out here, man.
All right now.
We out here just with our signs. We're singing. We're out here just pushing the vote. So it's going well.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Were you able to have church service this morning too?
No, well, we're online.
You're online, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
So we're not live yet, but we had our church services online today. Tabernacle of Praise Church, www.topci.org. Come on and see us.
All right, topci.org, folks. Do check them out. What are some of the major concerns you're hearing from your congregants, Pastor TJ, with regards to this election? What are some of the issues that people at TOPCI are most concerned about?
Yeah, that's a great question, Mark. You know what? One of the major things that we're seeing is that our communities are really hurting because of this pandemic. You know, economically wise, a lot of people in our community have been laid off. They're looking for jobs. We were blessed because Tabernacle of Praise Church, we just did a big Christmas offering. What we did was we wanted to raise $50,000 so we could help people that are being evicted, people that have their utilities cut off, or people that need groceries. And we were blessed that Tabernacle of Praise Church raised over $50,000 to help people that are being evicted. Right now, we were able to stop 6 evictions just yesterday. All right, they were getting evicted out of their homes. We were able to stop 6 evictions yesterday. And so that's what we're doing. So people are losing jobs and they're hurting. And what they're concerned about, Mark, they're saying, who's representing us? You know, who is going for us? Who is talking to the people in Washington? Who is talking to the people in Georgia about us? Do they know that we're hurting? Do they know that we're behind on our rent? Do they know that we don't have a job to support our homes and our families? Do they know that we have lost loved ones that are in the hospital right now and they can't afford health care and they can't afford the care that they need? Do they know? And so we're glad that we are now standing with Reverend Warnock, standing with John Ossoff, because they care. They know what's happening in our communities, and they're not going up there to make some money. They're going up there to be the representatives of our community. And so, yeah, that's what's happening right now, Doc. But the church is stepping up, and now our officials are going to step up. We're going to get the right people in place so that our cities, our communities can rejoice again.
Brother, that's a beautiful story. And that's what the church has always done. That's what the church is supposed to do.
Yeah.
And God bless you for looking out for Pope in that regard. It's a shame people shouldn't even be in this position.
Yeah.
Other developed and underdeveloped countries around the world are not letting happen to their citizens during COVID what has been allowed to happen to us. And we're supposed to be United States, biggest, greatest country in the whole wide world. And look at what's happening. We're just talking to the commissioner. Pastor TJ, who's supposed to live off $600 check? I mean, that's like sending nothing. You might as well keep that. Yeah. I mean, that's an insult. You know, somebody want to give you something. It's so pitiful. Just say, go on and keep it, because I can't even do nothing with $600.
Yeah, that's right. It's the truth. And that's why we got to get these guys up there in Washington. You know what I found out is that we have a lot of people that have been elected that are out of touch with reality. When you have people out there that are using their positions to gain money for themselves and not send money to the community. I mean, we got Kelly Leffler up there. She's trying to benefit off of this pandemic instead of trying to make sure that her community is blessed during this pandemic. You got Purdue. He's trying to sell his stocks and trying to get money out of this, when we should be using this to be able to empower the people that we represent. We got the wrong people in charge, and it goes all the way to the top, because when you got somebody that has been the president for the last 4 years, that all he's doing is just putting his buddies in office and trying to get the rich richer and the poor poorer, that's where it starts. Everything starts with leadership. And when you got poor leadership at the top, then it trickles all the way down. But I'm glad we got a new leader now. I'm glad for President-elect Biden and Kamala Harris that's coming in. And now we got to get the Senate right, so that way we can make sure that the president and the Senate are working together for the benefit of our community. All of this could have been stopped a long time ago. If we had a person up top that said, listen, we are in the midst of a pandemic. We need to protect ourselves. We need to wear masks. If we did this at the top, we wouldn't be in the position that we are right now.
No, you're absolutely right, my brother. And I'm glad you get that. This is important. This is housekeeping.
Yeah.
To y'all. I mean, it really is. It's housekeeping. There's something we need to do just to be able to survive. And we know that, elected officials aren't always everything, but this is something. We cannot have the same people. And you said it. Ossoff and Warnock are going up there to make some money for themselves.
No.
Like Purdue and Loeffler, and that's all they've done. They've turned into a profit for themselves. What do you think about her attacking Raphael Warnock, Pastor TJ? And yet in January, she was sitting right up in the pulpit.
Yeah.
At Ebenezer. What do you think about that?
Well, we know why she was sitting up there, because that's what they do. They come to our engagements, they come to our events to try to get the black vote. And they think just showing up is going to get the black vote. But black people are way smarter than what folks think. We understand it when people are trying to get a photo op, but then we understand when people are trying to work for our community. Let me tell you something about Reverend Warnock. We had a situation right here in Henry County where we had a young man get roughed up by the police. He got beat up by the police. His name is Desmond Morrow. And he came to me. I was his pastor at the time. And he came to me and said, hey, listen, I need some help. The church got behind him. We were able to get this officer convicted, and he got fired from the police, from the police precinct. But then, guess what? Reverend Warnock came down to Henry County. Now, Reverend Warnock is in Atlanta. He came down to Henry County. He stood with me on the pulpit, and he prayed, and he stood with me as we fought for this young man. Reverend Warnock is about community, and for Kelly Leffler to take his words. These are words that are sacred. When we preach from the pulpit, we are speaking the words of God, and we are empowering our community. And for them to take these words and to use them against them, to take them out of context and to use them against them. And here's the crazy thing. They always talk about, God, and we stand by our faith. Well, what you think Reverend Warnock is doing? He's a preacher. He's a man of God, and he's standing on his faith. He's standing on his beliefs, and he speaks for the Black community. And so Reverend Warnock has been a staple in the Atlanta area, in the Black community for years. All right. And listen, we are getting behind him. He understands the feeling of our infirmities, like they said in the Bible. He understands what Black folks are going through. He's going to take that up to Washington and make sure that he represents our community.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, brother, we're glad you were there to help bring that message home, and glad that you were there to help organize and mobilize our people, and glad that you were Pastor Mike's brother. Now, wait a minute. Who's the older? Who's the elder?
I'm the oldest. I'm 1 year older than Mike.
Okay, I got you. Well, brother, we appreciate you, folks. Pastor Michael McBride has convened the Black Church PAC, and he's one of the reasons we have this bus that we're on right now. And this is his brother TJ,
yes, sir.
Pastoring down there at Temple of Praise, Tabernacle of Praise Church International.
Yes, sir.
Down there doing the thing, and topci.org, right?
That's it, Mark. I appreciate you, brother.
That's one people, brother. We appreciate you. Hopefully, we'll see you in person soon. And thank you for beating that drum and helping get all these souls to the polls. All right, brother TJ. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. You keep up the great work, Doc.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. We tried. We're gonna keep beating this drum, folks. We're gonna bring back Pastor Barrett Barry from the bus there in Clark Community Park there in Henry County, as souls to the polls. They had an early voting site which is open till 5 p.m. Pastor, what's going on now?
Man, this is the crowd is building here. We have the food truck here giving out, blessing people with free meals today. It's a glorious time. Black Lives Matter. Yes, sir. Black Lives Matter is here as well. And we're live, man. This is also about to get ready to go over to the next event. You got to text me. Text me, please. We'll go to the next event in just a second. I think we may have somebody else to come up, Mark. I don't know. They just told me there's somebody else they want to present to us. I don't know who that is just yet. But let me tell you something about Henry County, man. He said it right. The chair who was here, she is the new queen maker here, and they have decided they're going to turn this county into a Wakanda. They understand it's a little small piece that they're not going to be able to get. But the rest of it, they're going to make this a black enclave. And we're excited about being able to do that.
They're going to make it Wakanda, huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So
that's what's up.
That is what's up. I think we have somebody from a surrogate here to tell me. Let me see who this person is. You have time for one more person?
I do. Come on.
All right. I'm gonna bring him on. I have the great Marlon Milner here. Professor Marlon Milner helping me out today, corralling people to bring onto the program today. We're excited about that. But again, people, if you're watching this right now, head over to the Dream Center today, and we're going to be over there. I'm going to get the address at the Dream Center, 2600 HF Shepherd Drive in Decatur. We're giving away 2 cars over there. Really excited about that. You don't want to miss out on that. Brother Mark, we have here, I'll let him introduce himself. He's a state representative. Let me see here. He's state representative here in the great state of Georgia. He is a Morehouse graduate. This is Representative. I did a fundraiser with this brother here, El Mahi Holly. He's coming on up right next. He's standing right here for me. You ready for him, Mark?
You ready for him? Let's go, bro. Let's go.
Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going.
All right. This is a state representative joining us from the Black Church PAC bus there in Henry County. Hey, yes, brother, sir. How you doing?
Doing fine, sir. Thank you for having me on, and thank you for encouraging our people to get out and take this seriously.
I'm sorry, brother. Tell us your name once more, please.
Yes, it is El Mahdi Holly.
El Mahdi Holly, brother. All right, so you're a state representative. You serve Henry County?
Yes, sir. I am the only legislator who has Henry County all exclusively in the district. It's been the object of gerrymandering for 3 election cycles, but fortunately I was able to work with our community, and we flipped the seat. So I know voting and really engaging the audience of people to stir up their interest and make them take the election seriously is something that we all take to heart. But the beautiful part is that when we work together and we flipped not only the district in 2018, but as you saw from the national numbers, we had the strongest flip against President Trump. And we allowed for Henry County to be the bluest county to flip it in this election cycle. So that's what we do right here at home.
Congratulations. That's good. How long have you been in office, brother?
I got in office and I was elected in 2018 and sworn in 2019. And then basically it's been a long, hectic 2 years, but I just got reelected with 28,000 votes, close to. And so we're ready to set this up for the next session. This is going to be a very interesting session. As you can tell, we're in the midst of a pandemic. And so even though it'd be great to have you see my mouth and nose, we have to be aware that the virus spreads in the droplets in the air. So it's one of the uncomfortable things we have to put up with. But I'm just glad to be with you so that we can really help get people to turn out in record numbers.
Well, no, I'm glad you're there. And since you're in the state legislature now, your governor, he's not been all along very cautious or leading when it comes to COVID, has he?
Well, I would have liked for him to take this more seriously and certainly not to appear at rallies with very strong super spreader tendencies. One of my district constituents and my fellow Morehouse brother was a man that we all know by Herman Cain. And, Mr. Cain went out there during Juneteenth to one of Trump's rallies where people were not wearing masks and it was spreading around. And, it's unfortunate that the problems with coronavirus allows for those with compromised health systems to exacerbate some of the other problems that they have, so that you may not die directly from COVID, but you can die from other ailments that are now amplified because of your vulnerability to COVID. And so we know that that's important in Georgia, but our governor, he did not, in my opinion, act strongly enough to make sure that we can keep people securely in one place to be able to trace the virus. By letting it open and allowing for people to come into close contact with one another, especially when we know that people can be asymptomatic, that you don't have to look sick and sneeze and cough and can still very much be a carrier of the virus to infect our seniors and people who are our loved ones who they themselves are health compromised. If he knew that, then he should take responsibility and let folks know that you can value freedom, you can value liberty, you can value people being able to move freely, but viruses do not care about your politics. Viruses love to find hosts, and if we can limit the amount of hosts so that we can trace this virus and make sure that people can return to life better and more safe, then it works best for all of us. So I really wish that the Governor Kemp would focus on this at least the next months ahead and take more responsibility over Georgians, because we all can be severely impacted if we take this virus as a joke.
Yeah. One other question. We're looking at some of these other counties, boards of elections are tampering with the early voter rolls, trying to play games. We also know there's a lawsuit purging where some were purged, are trying to get those people. So on the purging issue, were any voters unlawfully purged from Henry County's voter rolls?
Well, let me just say on the issue of purging, I remember when our current governor, when he was then Secretary of State back after 2016, and we saw 591,000 voters purged from Georgia's rolls. It was important that we have organizations like Fair Fight that Leader Stacey Abrams has really backed and helped to take these cases and bring them to court so that people can get re-enrolled or at least put back on to the voter rolls. The problem is with these purges is that oftentimes it's said under the guise of being able to clear it up because there's dead people. But the truth is that in the law, we're required notice and hearing. And oftentimes, that's due process. Oftentimes, people have their votes stripped from them. People are taken off the registry without receiving proper notice. A little card may come in the mail with the rest of junk mail, or it may not come at all because it's going to a bad address. And now all of a sudden, that person who is eligible to vote cannot vote. And so you're right, it is a problem. The good news, though, is that the Secretary of State has a MVP. It's my voter profile. That's www.mvp.sos.ga.gov. It's something that the taxpayers have already paid for that allows for us to be able to go online and see whether we are registered to vote. And it also tells all the pertinent information about our being able to vote. It's now digital. We can get that on our phone. But you're right. The thing is this. Purges will happen because they do have to clear off folks who may be dead. The problem is that when people are not given the notice that they may be purged, and they're purged anyway. And oftentimes, this is Georgia. We know who historically this is affected. This has often affected folks who are marginalized, historically marginalized communities like ours. Yeah. So we just have to make sure that we do our part by going on that My Voter page, mvp.sos.ga.gov. Look, I'm a state representative, and I do it. So I can be stripped from off that registry. And if I can do that, if I know that my voting rights might be infringed upon, then it goes the same for everybody else. It's a responsibility. It's not just about voting. It's about making sure that we protect our ability to vote by staying active. Treat our vote like it's money.
I like that, brother. Can I borrow that?
It's yours. Look, God gave it to me. It's yours, man.
Treat our vote like it's our money, y'all. That changed the whole attitude. But now on the early voting situation, they're tampering in Muskogee and in Cobb and Clark, from what I know. I think there's one other, I can't think of it now. Anything like that are you going on in Henry County, or can you anticipate that they're trying to throw out some early votes saying something ain't right? What are your thoughts about that?
Well, I can tell you this. I have, as a legislator, we constantly get emails from folks who are not yet ready to embrace reality that the current president will not get a second term. And oftentimes folks who have that sensibility, if they can't see the reality in the loss and just take it as a loss and move ahead for the next day, sometimes, that tendency might appear in forms to actually limit people's ability to vote. And that's what we saw. So you're right. In terms of these other counties, yes, there's been poll closings. It's happened. But again, we realize that there's a problem there. Well, let's not focus so much on the problem that we don't see the solution that's right in front of us. Mm-hmm. With organizations like Black Church PAC, like Fair Fight, like New Georgia Project, that's on the ground every day, making sure that folks are not only registered, but are aware of what that vote really costs, what it counts for. They can actually wage the war to be able to make sure that our rights are protected. Nowhere in this state or in this country has there been a finding by a judge that there has been enough fraud to change the outcome of this presidential election cycle. I have heard a whole lot of rumors about Georgia's Dominion voting machines and how bad they are. But Democrats, we voted for hand-marked paper ballots because we saw that if we get a ballot that is marked by the human hand, it is more traceable. It's reflective of how we vote. However, this is the irony in all of it. Our Republican colleagues voted for the very machines that we're using now that President Trump says is fraudulent.
Yeah.
So we're getting two different stories here. The truth is, though, is that we have to not only just vote and not only make sure that that vote is still on record. Again, it's like we just agreed to. Treat your vote like it's money. And if you can check your bank account to make sure that your money is there, you can check the Secretary of State's website at that myvoterpage.sos.ga.gov. You can look and find your vote and make sure it's there. But the only way that we stay on top of this, right, because this is part of our history as African Americans, we can't get our rights restored and then treat it like it's something we can take for granted. We can't take anything for granted. The same way that tomorrow is not promised to anyone, our right to be able to vote is not protected tomorrow. No, it's protected every day that we fight for it to make sure that we are valid on the registration rolls.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Brother, your articulation on this issue is impeccable and profound. Henry County is fortunate to have you. We're fortunate to have you.
Thank you, sir.
And we know how important. Now, as to your name, brother, you're Muslim, aren't you?
No, sir. I am 7 generations descendant of Baptist Christian ministers. But I can tell you, during the late 1960s, my parents, like probably a whole generation, were very much in support of retracing their roots and finding their heritage. So my name, El Mahdi, is actually an African name. It's ascribed to the personage of a man named Muhammad Ahmed Abdallah, who lived from 1843 to 1885. What he's known for is when the British came to colonize Sudan, he rallied these people together and maintained a solid country to fight back against westernized oppression. And my parents gave me the name mainly because its basic meaning means beloved leader. And so I would probably use this example of the love my parents had for me growing up in a Christian church to encourage folks out there, regardless of your faith. Parents, when you have your children, please think about it very carefully to ensure that you give them a name that can be their crown so that one day they may grow tall enough to be able to fit and make sure that they can wear that. It will keep them out of trouble, but even further, it will raise them up to the levels of glory that their maker, their father, the creator has placed upon their lives. Allow for them to grow in the way that is best for them by giving them a name that they can grow strong enough to live by. So yes, sir, if I can grow up to be the beloved leader that of which I am so named, then may all the glory of that be given to my parents and God who placed me here.
Man, that is a beautiful testimony, brother. I'm glad to hear that story and glad to hear the story of your name. God bless your parents for giving you that name. El Mahdi Hale, folks, is the leader, the representative in the legislature in Henry County in Georgia. And they're building Georgia, y'all. They're fixing stuff in Georgia. They hadn't been fixing. I know Dr. King and Daddy King would be so proud the way Georgia is transforming and changing. And so we're thankful for that. Brother Representative El Mahdi, we appreciate you, my brother. Thank you for sharing with us. And we look forward to hearing more from you. Good luck with getting that vote out down there in Henry County, my brother. Okay.
Yes, sir. Look, thank you. And really just thank you for yourself for putting in the work. Our brothers here who have been active. I know my pastor here, you've heard from him, Pastor T.J. McBride of Tabernacle of Praise Church International. And I just want you all to know that the spirit of moving this country forward extends so far beyond Georgia. We cannot compartmentalize our impact. Our impact is beyond, because if we worship a God who knows no boundaries, then certainly he can provide us with victories of which we have yet to imagine. So
Yes,
just thank you for having this platform, and we're going to get out this vote because justice comes by way of people who put in the effort.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Bless you, brother. We thank you, brother, and good luck to you. All right, we will be in touch. Okay.
Yes, let's please be in touch. Take care.
All right, Georgia State Representative El Mahdi Hale joining us there in Georgia. and we've got brother Pastor Barry back. Let's get him in, and I guess now you getting ready to go over to the Dream Center, right?
Yes, in about 10 minutes, man. We're gonna get on the road. Make sure everybody gets something to eat here, and we're gonna get on the road and head over to Dream Center. And we're expecting a great crowd there too. It was a beautiful day here today. I didn't know TJ McBride is just a man in Henry County. He's up here selecting and slicing and dicing, and everybody goes to his church. I'm loving this, man. I'm loving how the Black Church PAC is making a difference in the hearts and minds of people here in the great county of Henry County. I didn't know Henry County existed for Black people until I met TJ McBride again.
Pastor Barry, the man, though. He's the man. He's the man. He hasn't slept in the last 3 weeks.
Man, I'm so tired.
I know.
I'm so tired. Y'all should have seen him when he came off the bus. I thought I was gonna have to lay hands on him.
I'm so tired. It's not even funny how tired I am.
You run it on fumes, huh?
Man, it's Sunday, man. I was up last night getting my services ready for today till 12:30 in the morning, and man, thank God.
And then had me calling you at 8 o'clock this morning.
I'm like, dude, I finally get a chance to sleep in, and you calling me.
I'm calling you for sunrise service over the phone. Amen. So that's what's happening. No rest. Well, brother, you go on. Now we gonna check in. Are we gonna get together over at Dream Center? Is that what we want to do?
Actually, we're gonna get together right around 3:15, 3:30, man.
Okay, that's cool.
With the pastor there. He wants to do it before they get started, so we'll do that then.
Yeah, no, that's what's up. So yeah, let's do that. I'll be standing by, folks. We're gonna end this live. Stay tuned here. Whatever you're watching this on across our social media, around 3:15ish, about an hour from now, tune back in because we're gonna be at the Dream Center. Lord have mercy. With Pastor William Murphy III. So we look forward to that. Ozar, be safe on the road, man. And we will see you at the Dream Center, okay?
Yes, sir. Bless you guys.
All right, bless you now. Take care. All right.